Ukraine rocked by corruption scandal. Wave of top officials resign. Well, what you expect? We know that Ukraine has been corrupt for many years. Even the mainstream media reported on them in 2014 and how corrupt they were. And then you give a corrupt country like Ukraine millions, billions of dollars, and what you expect to happen. Of course, they're going to be driving around in sports cars and have mansions and luxury vacations as their own people suffer. I mean, what you expect. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store where I have I Will Not Comply t-shirts. So check those out as well. All right, let's talk about this news. The Ukrainian government confirmed the resignation of multiple high ranking officials on Tuesday due to large scale corruption allegations, marking the biggest mass resignation and graft scandal since the Russian invasion began. Officials have resigned from their posts following allegations and investigations into cases of bribery, mismanagement, and of aid funds for purchasing food, embezzlement, and driving expensive cars while the common people suffer under wartime conditions. Again, what you expect? You give this corrupt country, what we know is corrupt. Again, it's been documented in 2014 how corrupt Ukraine was. They actually called it one of the most corrupt countries in the world. And then you give them billions of dollars to supposedly fight. What do you think going to happen to that money? I mean, they're going to take the money. A lot of the money is unaccounted for. That's why Zelensky keep coming, asking for more and more weapons, more and more money, because they take the money and they use it. Um, not on war. A top presidential advisor, four deputy ministers, including two defense officials and five regional governors, were forced to step down. Among regional governors to step down included officials overseeing regions which have seen intense fighting, including the Zaporizhia and Kherson regions, where Russian forces have lately reported gains. The defense ministry had earlier announced the resignation of Deputy Minister Vyacheslav Shapovalov, who was charged of the army in charge of the army's logistical support on the heels of accusations it was signing food contracts at inflated prices. Again, I'm not for this war whatsoever. We should stay out of it. It has to do with Russia and Ukraine. We're actually giving them and supplying them weapons and helping them and upsetting Russia, which can lead into nuclear war. I don't know why we're doing this. We need to stay out of it. And we know about the Nazis and stuff in Ukraine and all of that stuff, and the media try to cover it up. It's ridiculous. But Shapalov is accused of signing a deal with an unknown shady firm. In his role as deputy minister, uh, his is the most notable and visible resignation. Crucially, he would have had no small part in overseeing the billions of dollars flowing from the pockets of U.S. and European taxpayers as authorized defense aid. He purchased military rations at inflated prices in what appears a scheme to line the pockets of contractors and potentially involving kickbacks to himself. Of course, that's exactly what's going on. The defense ministry is still trying to downplay it as a technical error. Political reviews of the details to the scandal reveals that the defense ministry purchased overpriced food supplies for its troops. For instance, the ministry bought eggs at 17 hryvnias per piece, while the average price of an egg in Kiev is around 7 hryvnias, however you pronounce their dollar. According to ZN.UA, a contract for food procurement for soldiers in 2023 amounted to 13.16 billion hryvnias. Um, this is 2 to 3 times higher than current rates for such food items, reports say. Uh, Shapovalov's resignation letter indicated he's stepping down so as, quote, not to pose a threat to the stable supply of the armed forces of Ukraine as a result of a campaign of accusations related to the purchase of food services. Deputy head of the Zelensky administration, Kyrilo Kyrilo Tomasenko, also stands accused of living a lavish wartime lifestyle. Many current mainstream media reports on Tuesday are burying some of the key verified details. For example, BBC writes simply that Tamarosenko was implicated in several scandals during his tenure, including in October last year when he was accused of using a car donated to Ukraine for humanitarian purposes. But starting in early December, local Ukrainian outlets, angered at the posh lifestyle of Ukrainian leaders, at a moment tens of millions are without power amid Russian aerial bombardment of the nation's power grid, began confirming that Timosenko drove high-end sports cars and in and out of the capital to and from mansions, which typically range from a cost of $10,000 to $25,000 per month. As another example of Western MSM seeking to downplay or soften this latest wave of graft-related forced resignations, the AFP writes, "quote Ukraine has long suffered endemic corruption, including among the political elite, but efforts to stamp out graft have been hampered by a lack of political will and a weak judiciary." But again, the United States will continue to give this corrupt country more billions of our taxpayer dollars to support this supposed war, where and all else, the money is going to the elites of this country, where they can drive around in fancy sports cars and live in mansions. It's ridiculous. It needs to stop. I wish someone in Congress would speak out and say enough is enough. We need to stop supporting this stupid war. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out democrapublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.